overwriting the EIP. Using Mona, again, what you can do is that you can kind of figure out that. You can just say Mona pattern offset and then give the binary value, which is overwriting the EIP value. If you just give that, what it will do is it will tell you what is the pattern is located at this position, 17375. Okay. And then because thing is that this operating system had ASLR enabled, so I was trying to find out, let's say, are there any modules that exe file is reading out which is not participating in ASLR. Okay. So to do that, what you can do is that you can just execute Mona modules -o, and it will tell you if there is any kind of like DLL files which this software is reading, which is not participating in ASLR off. And if you do that, it will give you certain kind of this detail. Okay. And it will tell you ASLR, if you see, ASLR is false for almost 10 of the DLL files that you are seeing over here, .dll, filter DLL and all, the ASLR is off. And now the thing is that you can't pick any of the ASLR because it is turned off in 10 of the DLL. You can't just pick any of them. There is another concept that is like, that's the reason I have not picked it up, because it's very, very complex to understand. The thing is that I need to pick up that module which has this code over there, which says jump ESP. Okay. So I'll pick a DLL file which has an ASLR turned off and has an instructions which says jump ESP. Jump ESP will mean that the EIP register pointer will jump to the ESP value where my payload is existing. And when I pick that up, I made a new exploit with that payload. And when I do that, thing is that the payload, malicious payload was just a calculator. And on behalf of that MP3 file, thing is that when you loaded the malicious payload, thing is that the calculator actually ran up. Okay. So this is how you actually deal with kind of operating system which are like latest, like Windows 7 and 10, where there are a lot of like other attacks, but I can't showcase that today because it will take more time. And the thing is that it's really, really complex. It's better to kind of deal with this kind of, it is already complex. I don't want to make it more complex for all of you guys. So I hope guys, this was interesting and this was good to know about you. So this is the core concept that anyone would look up in the vulnerability pen testing environment and exploit writing department, where you need to know how the code or tools actually works in background, how Metasploit code, even though if it fails, using this knowledge, you can make that Metasploit code works. Okay. And you can be different than a normal pen test guy. A normal pen test guy will never know how this exploit payload will work. They will just execute the command and they will see that, okay, it ran or it not ran. But with this base knowledge, you can kind of improve upon that and kind of get better on that. Okay. So with that in mind, I am all about to end this session. For the SIEM tools training, maybe I'll discuss with the management what thing needs to be done, because tomorrow I will be kind of traveling to a different country. Okay. So I will be kind of discussing with my management whenever they are planning to kind of initiate a kind of session for that. I will be kind of maybe we will be kind of delivering, so SecuCybers will be delivering that SIEM training session for you, which is kind of pending. So thing is that definitely there was a little bit wastage of time for me because I was working on the lab environment setup for the Splunk and all. But since you guys don't want, that's fine. We will kind of reevaluate the training and we'll come up with a session for the SIEM training. Otherwise, we will be kind of closing that session and treat that as one of the last session for today for this session, and that we will kind of discuss, SecuCybers will discuss, the management will discuss with the team what all other sessions they are planning. So definitely there will be a SIEM session, that's for sure. And we will kind of reach back to you. So before kind of winding up for today, is there any questions, guys, or any kind of concern or any kind of questions on the things that we discussed today?
Hello, sir. So actually, we also have the AI. You told like we'll be learning like AI, how we can utilize it in.
Yeah. Let me do one thing. Let me just quickly showcase that to you. So with the AI part, actually, I wanted to kind of explain you guys this one, Hugging Face. Okay. So what I mean to say is that this is a tool that now is the latest one, the Hugging Face tool. And what you guys do is that you bookmark this tool. Okay. and I will share what all things you guys can do to kind of let's say achieve certain kind of let's say deal with certain kind of analysis using the machine learning way. Okay, so there are a few things that I like to say. If you go in this Hugging Face and click on models, okay, now you see that there are different models over here, like multi-model, computer vision, natural language processing, and all. And for you guys as a cybersecurity professional, the one that you will be most interested in is the natural language processing. Okay, there will be computer vision too. Sometime you will be kind of let's say there's a case where, let's say, there's a policy violation, the person was not allowed to see certain images, and you want to kind of figure out if those images are existing on that system. So you can, using computer vision, what you can do is that you can kind of execute those codes. You can execute and can detect those images automatically and see that, okay, if those images which are they kind of compatible with policy violation, and you can kind of detect those images. But the most important one will be the natural language processing, okay, which will be kind of important for you guys. And what I mean to say, what are the modules that you will be using? The first module that I will be kind of going through is the sentence similarity scoring. Okay, so if I go to sentence similarity scoring, and let's say I pick one of the modules from here. Let's say not this one. Let's say, let me do Facebook. Yeah. So Facebook, I'll pick the model which has been kind of published by Facebook. And thing is that, guys, how you can use this for your cybersecurity thing. So let's say yesterday when I was discussing about the timeline analysis, and I mean, the last week and all. So thing is that the timeline analysis is of like huge file, like 10 GB of file, or let's say 20 GB of 10 GB of file sometimes. And you need to kind of understand what all events executed on that system. So what you can do is that you can actually run this code, which is the model over here. Okay, if you are able to kind of, you need to kind of execute this software. You need to install this module, which is called a sentence transformers module. Okay, and then what you do is that you need to execute this code. Okay, and now what this code will do is that, let's say you have a event timeline. Let's say you have a event time. So without running this code, you can see the output. So let's say you have an event timeline analysis you are doing, and let's say you are seeing that, okay, there has been kind of execution of from command prompt, there has been execution of, let's say, arp.exe, some software got executed. Okay, some software got executed. Then there was certain thing like cmd.exe is also starting, let's say, outlook.exe, and then outlook.exe is starting, let's say, for an example, it is starting abc.exe, for an example. Okay, this is the, let's say, the parent-child relationship that you are analyzing. Okay, and let's say there's another thing like cmd.exe, and then it is kind of executing, let's say, another software like, let's say, notepad.exe, and then there's another software that is like, let's say, for an example, explorer.exe, which is executing, let's say, another software like, let's say, vlc.exe, for an example. Okay, so let's say this is just 4 lines of code, but let's say you are investigating a system, and then there are like 20,000 lines of code. How you can do the investigation quickly? Okay, so what you can do is that you can use this sentence similarity scoring algorithm. Okay, you can execute this Python code where you kind of replace this sentences where it says that this is example sentence and all, with the data that you have in your database that you want to analyze. And what it will do is that it will give you the it will actually cluster all the things which are like normal, which has been seen in a normal sense. Like, let's say this tools and this line is executing every day, for an example. It's executing every day. And this is something which is kind of a new one, for an example. This is something kind of a new one, for an example. And you have like this is not just 4 lines, as I told. Let's say there are like more than 100 lakhs of lines, 20 lakhs of line over there. And you need to figure out what is the new thing that happened on that system. Okay, so using the sentence similarity score, what you can do is that you can, let's say, I give this value to this sentences list, and if you just compute that, if you execute that code, what will happen is that it will let it run. Let's see if it